Hey guys, I had to jump on and talk to you right away because I just had a couple of major breakthroughs. So lately I've been kind of, I don't know if the word's struggling or confused. I've been trying to work out and overcome what I've been going through. I've been going through some really interesting stuff with my business. So last month, what's the date today? So I'm recording this on the 12th of January. Last month on, I think it was the 8th of January, I did BBD Live with my business coach, James Wedmore, and a whole bunch of amazing entrepreneurs. And I really got rolling with my business. I went all in. I signed up for Kajabi. I spent an entire, I think I spent 13 hours in the space of 24 hours building my sales page. Then I built my website. I launched my podcast. I launched my YouTube channel. I did a whole bunch of stuff really fast, ticked a whole heap of stuff off my to-do list that I had been kind of taking a break from, not necessarily resistant about. But then I got to a certain point and I thought, what's next? And I know that the next step is to launch, but I've been feeling a whole bunch of something. Because there's resistance and then there's misalignment, and it's really easy to confuse the two. For example, when I was creating my course, I felt so much resistance at creating the slides. I hated doing the slide decks, and I spent so much time actually redoing them 3 times because I hated the color and the font, and I rebranded them 3 times, which is crazy. I do not recommend, and it's why I prefer to just talk straight to camera. But in creating an 8-module course, it's super useful to have slides so you can see your notes and make sure you're covering everything, and then people can have that afterwards. But if you're someone who doesn't like slides, and if I did it all again, and when I do it all again, I'll definitely just be doing face to camera instead of screen share, and I'll just use my notes that I had written for so long. They were ready. I could have filmed the course without transferring them to slides and then having all that rigmarole. So that's another way of doing it. And then if you want your people to have access to the notes, you can get your audio transcribed. So that's a way to save time and energy and make sure you're doing things in alignment. I think I've got a kid coming up the stairs. Give me a second to see what she wants, and then I'll be right back to you. So with resistance and misalignment, resistance is when you know that there's something that you want to do, and you know the way you want to do it, but you're resistant because you have mindset or limiting beliefs, or you're making meaning out of it that's kind of holding you back, or maybe there's energy that's getting in the way there. So with the slide deck, I suppose I was misaligned in the way that I was doing it, but it was creating a whole bunch of resistance for me to even make progress with creating that course. But with misalignment, maybe it's you want the thing, but it's not in that certain way. You're trying to go about it the wrong way, or it's just something you don't actually want. So I've been trying to work out what's going on with this launching thing, because once I got through all those to-dos, and I went through them all really fast. And then I stalled, and I thought, well, what's the next thing? And I knew the next thing was to launch, but I'd already said that I was going to launch in February, and that was, 4 weeks off. So I thought, well, what's the next step? Maybe I start working on my Instagram and batching my Instagrams, or working on my TikTok. And I've had a bit more of a presence on Instagram, but I've kind of been dabbling. I haven't even been doing the batching that I wanted to do, even though I did actually write down the ideas for it. So the issue is I just haven't decided, but I wasn't sure. I was like, what's going on with this? Is my energy really low? Am I burnt out? And I don't feel like I'm burnt out. I probably need a bit of rest, but burnout is different. Burnout is when you're just like, I just can't be bothered. But I think even if there is a little bit of burnout, it's from this indecision and this overwhelm that I've been creating for myself, and saying, well, I'm confused. I don't know the next step. I haven't chosen the next step. So then my next question was, well, if I'm telling myself that I'm confused and overwhelmed, what's that all about? And in Business by Design, there's a whole heap of launch guides, and it tells you step by step. And I've been looking at them and saying, okay, I might like to do a paid masterclass launch or a challenge launch. And I look at the steps and I just don't want to do it. I just haven't taken action, and I haven't even made that decision. So yesterday I wrote down that my action for the day was to make a decision, and I thought, well, I've got masterclasses recorded, I could just do the ads and get them started. And then I woke up today and thought, actually, I kind of want to do a challenge. And then I looked at the challenge process and I thought, I don't want to do it like that. And I have a whole bunch of resistance over strategies. There are so many strategies that I know, and I just read Launch by Jeff Walker, and I read 1 Million Followers, and I read 12 Months to $1 Million, and they're all great at informing you. Hold on. And after I read those books, 3 books by middle-aged white men, I was like, okay, there's a whole bunch of strategy, a whole bunch of things to do, and I kind of like burnt myself out intellectually. I was like, well, okay, so I learned a few good things. I learned, okay, I want to work on creating that email list, and yeah, I learned a bunch of stuff. But then I read We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers, and I was like, okay, this energy feels better. This energy feels a whole lot better to me. And she was saying, you know, for women, we can't always just do things as men say, especially middle-aged white men. So I was like, okay, that's really interesting, because I do feel really constricted by that kind of strategy. And then I listened to Katrina Ruth, who's the Rebel Millionaire, just talking about doing things in your own way. And that is definitely where I feel an issue, is I want to do things my own way. And that's how I started my first business in 2 months. I was like, okay, I'll just do it my own way. And that's how I launched my first online business, was, okay, I'll just talk about it and just do it my own way. And that's the real thing here, is in business, it's like, okay, you should learn from the people who have come before you, and you should use their strategies and implement them. But that creates so much resistant energy in me, and I think really it's a misalignment. I don't want to do those things. I don't want to do them in the ways that have been done before. So it's really important, and I believe it's so important to pick and choose what suits you. And that's what they say not to do. They say don't do that, because if you don't follow the formula, it's not going to work. But the thing is, I'm a woman, and I am a manifestation and energy teacher, and it has to be the right energy, and I have to do things my own way. So that's my progress today, is, okay, I can't do things their way. And it's not just about using my intuition. It's not just about visualizing. I want to use, I guess, strategies. But like I always say, you only need 3 things in business. You need to know who you help, how you help them. So that's your niche and your offer. And then you need to reach those people and tell them about it. And it should be that simple. And I know plenty of people who have multiple 6-figure businesses who literally just jump online and they chose their platform, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, and they just talked about it and gave value and connected with people. And that's how they grew their business. And I hate social media. I don't like social media. So I know that my approach has to be really authentic to me, and I think that's so important in business. And yes, if you want to start a business really quickly and you don't know what you're doing, and you maybe aren't super intuitive about it, if you don't have any idea, sure, use someone's formula and follow their step by step, because then you can get started. But if you don't like a way that they've done something, tweak it, just test. Like, business is supposed to be an experiment. It's supposed to be an expression of you, and you sharing your ideas and your offerings to the world. That's what everyone talks about. That everyone talks about being authentic and sharing the gifts you have inside and teaching what you know. But then they say that you have to follow the formulas for things. That does not sit right with me. I think there's such a balance in between, right? So my point is, I'm going to figure this out for myself, and then I'm going to teach you. So I am experienced in business. I'm a born entrepreneur. I can teach you so many things about entrepreneurship. I can tell you how to create your course, create your membership. I can tell you how to set up all the back end stuff. I can tell you how to do it on a $0 budget. But marketing is really getting to me. So don't come to me to be taught marketing. But at the moment, my message is to use marketing in a way that suits you. So if you want to do Facebook ads, go and learn Facebook ads. If you want to use specific launch strategies, go and learn from someone like my coach, James Wedmore, or you could read Launch by Jeff Walker if you wanted to, and learn from them and test it out and do it with your own flavor in your own way. I know that James says, follow the formula, follow what I've said, because that's how it works. I can't do that. And so I think to myself, okay, should I not have invested in this program? If I'm the kind of person, if I'm going to make this decision now to say, okay, I'm going to scrap that. I'm not going to follow the launch guides at all, or I'm going to be informed by them, or I'm going to experiment and come back to them. Was it silly of me to invest in a program like this? No, because I have learned so much from James. I've formed so much, but I really do believe in the approach of learning that one thing, like coming and learning from a teacher and taking what resonates with you, but not feeling like you have to replicate them completely. Like that is my value, one of my top values, and that's above following those strategies. I prioritize that, and that is being true to myself. But what we can often do is we get caught up in thinking we should do things a certain way. So we get told, be authentic to you and create your business by your design and how you want to have your business and make it work for you. But then we get told, hang on, you should do it this way. So go and learn from those people, but learn to be discerning. And it's really interesting because I feel like the more I've learned about business, the more confused and overwhelmed I've gotten. Even though I have more knowledge, it means that I'm listening to my intuition a whole lot less. So I think that it's really important to be discerning and say, okay, that's that person and I'm me. And everyone who's done it, like Jeff Walker was the first person to kind of start doing launches in a certain way. He's been on the internet since the 90s and he like revolutionized and transformed business. But how do we ever get people who come through and revolutionize things and transform things if everyone's following this cookie cutter approach and being sheep following these other people? I think it's really important and useful to be that brave person who's going to experiment. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Who cares? It was an experiment. But to be creative and to try new things, I think that is really super valuable. So we know that webinars work and we know that challenges work, but you can do it with your own flavor or you can choose the thing that suits you. And I was kind of really intrigued by hearing about other types of launches, like just an email launch and sending out an email every day, or a podcast series as a launch. You can do things in your own way and you can do things how suits you. That's my marketing approach, and that's what I will teach you, because I think that is the ultimate being true to yourself and being authentic for yourself. And if it's not something that you're excited about, as something that comes natural to you and something that kind of unravels from you, then it's hard and it's hustle and it's hard work, and that's not what I believe in. And it's also, if it's not natural to you, maybe it's not right for you. So it's really important to find the difference between that resistance between something you want to do and something that's misaligned and it's just not you. And it's definitely, I hope that you know that you shouldn't be doing all the things. You don't need to be doing all the things. So this is like an extreme version of that. You don't need to do any of the things if you don't want to. You can find what resonates with you and let go of anything that doesn't. Be really wary of shoulds that are disguised as wants, of thinking that you want to do a certain thing. Like I thought, okay, I want to launch. I know that that's the natural next step, but do I actually want to, or is that a should? And I'm starting to realize today, okay, that's actually a should. And I'm not someone who does things that I should do. I'm not someone who does things because someone has told me to do them. I'm someone who does things my own way. That's how I started my first 2 businesses, and that's how I quote unquote should be doing that one. And that should is a my should. That's my values coming out. So there are shoulds that are your shoulds, and there are shoulds that are should that come from other people. And then you think that you want to do them because you think that you're choosing from a number of different options and a number of different paths, but actually none of them is for you. Like it could be, but if what you want is to do something completely different and to take a trail that's less trodden or just completely brand new, you can do that too. You don't need to choose from the options if you don't want to. I think it's really important for things. I heard something really cool today, and it was that not just, one of the cool things was that to play and have fun, and when you follow that calling, that's the right thing for you. Like, I believe in energy and manifestation, and I love business. They are the 2 sides of me, but they meet in the middle at this point where you follow the things that are fun and that you are called to do, and that's probably the right thing for you. So I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to do an experiment with my business and bring that manifestation side right into it, because I teach manifestation, right? It only makes sense that I should bring in manifestation, bring in that embodiment and that intuition, and really following what I'm called to do and tuning in. I'm going to tune into myself, guys, and find the right thing for me, because there is so much noise out there. But if I can just blank all that out and say, okay, if I was a newbie again and I was just coming completely fresh to this business, and my one task, my one thing that I wanted to do was to reach people and invite them into my world and give them a taste of what I teach, and then invite them to come deeper with me and learning it in way more depth. How would I do that? Because that's what launching is, but launching is such a masculine concept. It's such a doing thing. I want to do it completely different. I'm going to take the feminine approach, the embodiment approach, and say, okay, I'm going to put something out there and call something in. That's all it's going to be for me. Put something out there, call something in. And there are a whole bunch of things that I've been doing in my business and setting it up in ways that I thought that I should do. I'm actually going to go and change my sales page again. This is why it's so important to be true to you in the first place, and then you won't have to change all this stuff, because it's when you are questioning yourself and being informed by the outside world that you make decisions that you later change because they weren't the decisions that you actually truly wanted. So go with your heart. And also, as a perfectionist, obviously it's really important to just not overthink some things as well. But like the branding colors, for example, like maybe I was called to a color and then changed my mind to a different color and changed my mind. So listen to yourself, but still take those other pieces of advice, like not getting caught up in that kind of thing, in the little details. Just stick with it. But I'm going to change my sales page because I'm not changing the color and stuff. I'm not getting caught up in that shit anymore. I do not believe that in that anymore. But I'm going to change the structure of my offer a little bit, because I've been choosing from the options, and I have a way that I want to do things, so I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way in a way that's true to me, and I'm going to pick and choose and just create this thing that's truly in authenticity with myself and with what and how I want to offer this thing, and stop second guessing it, stop letting everything else inform me, and just be really true to myself. And it can be such a journey to get there. So if you're doing any of those things, don't worry about it. Trust the journey, because you will get to the destination in the end, and you will learn lessons along the way, and it will be absolutely beautiful. But I'm here to coach you through that, because I've been through all that, and that's where a coach comes in handy. Is they can take your hand and say, actually, you're getting distracted. Come back to your path, and be true to you, and let all the other stuff behind. So that's my big revelation, is that I'm just done letting other people tell me what to do, because it's not how I've done things. And it's crazy because I love to learn. I have read, it's the 12th of January. I had a break yesterday and today, but I've finished 6 or 7 books already this year. And I've just listened to 4 or 5 podcasts already this year in 12 days, guys. So that's a lot, but I love to learn and then say, okay, what did that person just teach me? What did that person just teach me? What did that person just teach me? And then say, okay, taking all that into consideration and using that as inspiration. And that's the key, because I'm not just going to take it all into consideration and be, okay, so comparing it all logically, what's the logical thing to do? No, I'm going to take it as inspiration and say, okay, look at all these things that these people have done. Do any of those call to me? And if so, which parts? And what would I like to do? And how can I make it easy? And how can I make it fun? And what feels right to me? And what is right for me? What do I want to do? How do I feel about this thing? And if I chose this way, how would I feel in my body? And if I chose this way, how would that feel? And if I would feel a little bit of fear, is it the good fear? Is it the excitement? Is it the not knowing? Or is it is it something that I should push through and leap over and it will be something amazing? Is there some potential there? Or is it the feeling of misalignment, like that, I don't know, you feel it in your gut and something doesn't sit right with you? Those are two perhaps very nuanced things, and that's why I love to teach about energy. But you can learn to determine and decipher which is which for you. The more you are self-aware and the more you think about it and the more you feel into things, you can start to realize, okay, that time was resistance, and that time was misalignment, and that time was fear because it was going outside my comfort zone, and that time was dread because it just wasn't at all right for me. It wasn't something I wanted at all in the first place. It's not how I wanted to do it, and it wasn't right for me. And learning those things is so powerful, so powerful. And that's when you become empowered in your business, to not just in your business, but in your life, to create your life as you decide. The other cool thing I was going to say before, not just the playing and having fun in your business, which is crazy because people say, business, you have 2 camps. You have the people who say business isn't meant to be fun, just do that in your life. And if have your life and have that as fun, and then have business to serve a different purpose. But you've got to do your business even if it doesn't feel fun. You've got to do some things that aren't fun. But the thing is, most things in business you can actually do in a fun way. You can do most things in a fun way if they are in alignment with you. And when they're in alignment, even the things that aren't as fun, they kind of unfold and unravel. Like, I did my sales page. I spent from 9:30 at night to 3:30 the next day, minus 6-7 hours sleep, doing my sales page. I woke up and I did it instantly because I was so inspired. I was so in flow. And that's something that I had been resistant about when I sat down to kind of type it, because it's all about the energy. So that was me doing it in a really fun and exciting way, because I was connected to my why and I was ready for it. Whereas, I'm going to take a drink of water. Pause. Whereas when I did my slides, I hated them, and I was sitting outside in the sunshine. It was glorious, but I did not enjoy the process, and I knew it was something that was misaligned with me. So I do believe that business can be fun. I believe that you can take a lighthearted approach to it. I believe that it can be enjoyable. I do not believe in hustle and hard work. And the thing that I heard today that kind of blew my mind was that it was this coach, and she said, I want you to stay in your comfort zone. You can create abundance. You can create a business. You can create results. She didn't say it in these words. These are my words, but this is my interpretation. You can create results in your life that you've never seen before, that are they're outside, not necessarily a comfort zone, but they're outside your your zone at the moment, your reality. You can create all those things from your comfort zone. And I was like, oh my God. The current consensus, like you see it on Instagram, there are pictures, this is what coaches say, you've got to get out of your comfort zone. Nothing good ever happens in the comfort zone. There's the comfort zone, then the stretch zone, and then there's the growth zone. And I do believe in that, but it just clicked in me that it is so unnecessary. Like the first 2 businesses I created them in my comfort zone because this is where I am. It's like putting an unnecessary step between you and the thing that you want. It's making it hard and difficult instead of easy. If you create your business inside your comfort zone, and in hindsight, people like Gary Vee, he says, look, if video is your thing, do video. If audio is your thing, do a podcast. If you like to write, do a blog, write a book. You don't have to do it in a way that doesn't suit you, because if that's unnatural, it's not going to work and you're not going to sustain it. And it's crazy that people think, okay, no, I can't do a blog because everyone's doing, social media, or I can't do a podcast because everyone likes YouTube better. No, do the thing that suits you. Stay in your comfort zone. I love that because it takes it from what Gary Vee says about that. And it's like, okay, you can actually create everything from your comfort zone. You can create it in your way. And guys, I filmed half my videos in my pajamas because I'm like, okay, I feel like I have something to say and I want to go and say it. And I don't just want to bring you a podcast. I want you to be able to see my face. I want to bring a video. So I'm going to come and talk to you in my pajamas because really, who cares? Who cares? So that's like a literal version of your comfort zone. But, like some people do travel vlogging and some people film from their couch. Some people set up a perfect studio and some people just have a handheld camera. Like, it's not about the thing. It's not about how you do it physically. It's about how you show up. It's about what your energy is. It's about what you're sharing. It's about what you're offering. It's about the value that you provide. It's about how people connect with you and your story and your personality and your approach. It's just about you being who you are and being true to you and doing it in the ways that are true to you, because that's when it comes naturally. That's when it is easy. That's when it can be sustained because it is natural. It's unfolding from you. It's coming forth from you like a flowing river rather than like pushing a rock up a hill. Why do we do this to ourselves? And I think it's a lot because of the messaging. It's because a lot of the business teachers say, hey, this has worked for me. You should do it my way. Or they say, get outside your comfort zone. You have to do it outside the comfort zone. What if we just scrap all that and revolutionize things and say, okay, actually, we're going to do business that's easy. We're going to do it in flow. We're going to do it like rebels. We're going to do it like chillpreneurs. I love Denise Duffield-Thomas. Like, I feel like I'm inspired by so many people, but I love how Denise Duffield-Thomas says, no, let it be easy. And I love how Katrina Ruth says, be a rebel. And I love how Abraham Hicks says, follow your joy and be happy, and that's when things flow. I take from all these different teachers and I'm like, okay, this is how we can do things. We can have it be good, feel good, be easy, flow from us. And like Amanda Francis, she says making money can be easy. Let it be easy for you. Change your energy about it. All of these things, guys, they work for so many people, and yet we make things so much harder for ourselves. If you're a perfectionist, Sam Laura Brown might be great for you because she talks about how we tell ourselves we have to do a million other things first, but we actually only have to do the one. And Denise Duffield-Thomas says that too. Like, there's only a few things you actually need to do. And yet, this is what I found myself doing, is writing this long to-do list. And when it got short, I was like, crap, what do I do? Because the next thing is to launch. And then, of course, there's all the misalignment and resistance about launching because I was telling myself I should do it in certain ways. So that's my message for today, is stuff what everyone else says. Stuff the paradigm. In business, you just need to show up and they say show up consistently, but I've heard from plenty of people that are inconsistent and they just post on social media when they want, or some people don't even have social media. They just maybe write a book here and there, or just have ads straight to their course. And some people say you have to launch, but yesterday I was listening to this lady, Haley, someone who popped up on my Instagram, and she was talking about Evergreen, and she was like, stuff opt-ins. She was like, instead of spending all this time on opt-ins, you could create like a 10-minute video, which I guess is kind of like how people do masterclasses. But she was like, imagine if you can do a 10-minute video that just leads straight to your course and scrap everything else. Like, things can be easy and you can do it in your own way. If people can find you and it's clear what you do and who you help, people will come to you. I listened to a podcast with a lady today and I was like, this lady is really cool. I love her beliefs. I love what she's saying. I love her approach. I don't even really know what she offers, but I'm going to go and look at what she offers. Can you hear the seagulls? I live near the beach. And the window's open. And this microphone picks up a lot of things because it's a studio mic, not a podcast mic. But work with what you have, guys. Like, my first podcast was on my phone. You can do it however suits you, does not matter, just get your message out there. But I went to this lady's website and I was scrolling through and I was like, wow, I'm not even reading her sales page. I literally just want to know what the program is and what the cost is and what the time is, the time investment is, because I want to learn from her. And that's how it works, and that's how it will work for you too, is you get yourself out there, people find you, they hear what you do, they connect with your ideas, they resonate with you, they'll buy from you if it suits them. And if it doesn't, literally no skin off your back, no judgment to you. They just weren't right for you at this time. And that's all it is. It means nothing about yourself, it means nothing about your business. Like, it can mean that you might need to refine your offer or your messaging, but it doesn't mean that your idea is a failure. It doesn't mean that you are a failure or you're not worthy or people don't like you. You just might need to reach more people and be more clear about your offer. And if you're reaching people and you're clear about your offer, if you've got those two things down, they either will be the right people for you or they won't. And if they're not your people, they're not your people. It's not that you aren't worthy, it's that you're not a match. That's literally all that it means. And I just want to remind you that my first online business, I posted a few Instagram posts and I got my first 4 clients. That's how easy it can be. And I know so many people who have 6-figure businesses just from posting on Instagram and saying, this is what I do, this is my advice, this is what I think. And they have 6-figure businesses because they just pop that offer out there occasionally and say, hey, I've got this thing. Like, do you want to work with me one-on-one? Do you want to join my membership? Do you want to join my course? And they talk about it. And I know that there's so much mindset stuff that can get in the way from you wanting to talk about it and wanting to put yourself out there. And yes, that stuff needs to be overcome as well. But my advice is to just start with the thing that feels good to you and feels right to you. And that's when it becomes easy. And have an offer that you believe in and help a person that you are called to help, and connect to your why, know why you're doing it. And really, it becomes really simple. And it can feel like there's so many moving parts and so many pieces, but once you overcome the mindset stuff and learn how to overcome resistance and identify misalignment, it's like it can be so simple. So simple. But we have these limiting beliefs that society tells us that money needs to be difficult and you need to do a lot of things to earn it. But truly, it can be so easy. So easy. As someone who's, I've manifested things at the drop of a hat. Like, I've decided I'm going to find money on the ground now, and then I find the money on the ground. Like, literally, there's been times where I've been like, oh, I set an intention to find money today. It should be here by now. And I look down and it's a meter away. Or once I was at the mall and I was about to go to the car park, and I had set an intention to find a note on the ground. Like, any note. This is such a tangent, but I thought $50 note, I don't believe that. A $20 note, I don't think that's believable. $10, $5, that's not exciting. I thought, okay, any note. $5, $10, $20, any. And I remembered that I was meant to find it as I was on the way back to my car, and it's like, oh, it should be here by now, because that's what manifestation is about having the energy of it already done, making the decision, trusting it, and then sometimes you get confused and you're like, hang on, that was meant to happen. Like, what's up, universe? Because you've decided and it's became your reality. I had this thought and the crowd parted and there was my $10 note on the ground and nobody else was noticing because it was my $10 note, and also because people don't look. Guys, if you want to be abundant, look around you and believe that you'll find money, and make sure you're looking for it and appreciating if you find some money on the ground. I've done that. I've manifested houses, not even for myself, for friends who needed to find a rental. I've manifested houses in an hour, guys. I manifested getting out of a shitty little 2-bedroom apartment that I was stuck in, and there was literally no way I could get out of it. Or afford the kind of house that I wanted. And then, like, I think I have a YouTube video on it. I think. A relative, like, through a series of events, they manifested a bunch of money, and then they offered that to me, and then they offered to help me in getting this house, and now I have this house. And I couldn't have logically afforded it at the time, but I did because I manifested it. And that's how I've gone on a tangent. I can't remember how I got started, but that's how business can be as well. Like, you come at it with the energy and the decision, and then you take your action towards it, and then have the universe help you too, guys, because you could follow someone's formula to a T and it might not work out for you. Like, definitely, if you're going to choose a particular way, believe that it will work out for you, because that's what it's all about. And that's what I'm saying, is you need to have that manifestation piece and that energy piece as well. And hang on a second, guys. Don't freak out and be like, oh God, I haven't got the manifestation piece. Like, I can't do this. It's not going to work. Believe that. I love this. It's called an overarching intention. That's what I call it. Is believe that no matter how you feel or what you think, the thing that you truly desire is the thing that's going to happen, because the universe knows what's in your heart. And it's only when we say, and I've tested this, guys, it's only when we say, oh, I feel like it won't happen, I'm not believing it enough, you're actually setting an unconscious intention that because you feel that way, it's not going to happen. And it's that intention that's the manifestation, that the things that's going to manifest. So tell yourself instead, hey, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling a bit of doubt, but I trust that the universe knows, right? And they're going to help me bring it to fruition anyway, and make it happen anyway. So I'm running out of breath, and my kids have been so good for this, guys. I decided I'm going to just stop apologizing that I come and do podcasts, not when I've got a helper here, but when I freaking feel like it, and sometimes that means interruptions. That's just how I'm going to do it from now on, because who cares? And much better that I get this message out there than try and like write down notes and remember it later and have my energy be like, I think this thing. So anyway, that's how I'm going to do it. That's my message for the day, is, as usual, get started in your business if you've got a business idea, and do it your own way. Do it your own way. Stop listening to those shoulds in business and in your life. Watch out for those shoulds that get disguised as wants, especially if you're a mum, because we're trained, not intentionally, but just through being a mum and caring for other people, we can get caught up in that thinking about other people's wants, and in thinking about like logistically what we can have, and then choosing from those things and saying, oh, this is what I want, but really you're choosing from those selection of paths, and sometimes you might get caught up in what you think you should have or what you think you can have. You can choose whatever you want. Doesn't matter what the other business people say, doesn't matter what the current done thing is, doesn't matter that they say get out of your comfort zone. Stuff that, and I'm excited to stuff that, because like a little bit of discomfort is good. Like maybe I was a little bit scared to start filming, and then I learned that I could do it, and I was like, okay, I can do it. Stop caring so much. Take it as an experiment. Business is an experiment. Life is an experiment. Do it your own way. And like everything in the world, apart from nature, was created from someone's new idea. So if you're going to start doing something a new way, it could become the new way. Like, imagine the first person who started a blog. Like, now it's a thing. Imagine the first person who started a podcast. Now it's a thing. Like, new ways. Like, we just have to experiment. Trust yourself and take it less seriously, and who cares what everyone else is saying? Use it as inspiration, not instruction. And yeah, stuff those shoulds, guys. I'm really excited to do this experiment and go on this experience with you and help guide you to do the same thing, because this is a new and better way of doing business. Because we do business, especially us who are maybe light workers or just really purpose driven and heart led, and there's all these words for it, but basically just creating a business because it's something that's within us and we want to help people and we want to make the world a better place, whether that be teaching people to cook because it makes you feel alive to have good food, or teaching people business like I do because it helps you put your purpose into the world, or teaching people manifestation because it helps you create your dream life, or teaching people to heal themselves, or teaching people to play music because it makes their life feel beautiful. Whatever it is. Got on a tangent again. Whatever it is. Putting that, I completely forgot what I was saying. I completely forget my point, but it's those of you who I love to help. Maybe you can guess, and I'll guess when I listen later what the heck I was going to say. But I'm done with this. I lost my train of thought completely, and I know that I've been wrapping it up for 5 minutes. So guys, I wish you all the best. Let's make this world amazing. Let's create a new way of doing things. That's what I was saying. Let's create a new way of doing things. If we're here to make the world a better place, why would we make ourselves feel like shit in the process? Why would we hustle? Why would we sacrifice? Why would we compromise? It does not make sense. It does not make sense. Do things because they feel good to you. It feels like the right way to you. It feels like it could be something. It feels like the universe is pulling you in that direction. It feels like you just are curious. Whatever it feels like. If it's something you want to do it. Stop waiting for permission for someone else. And that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs say, is that you've got to unlearn that waiting to be told what to do. And yet it's so ironic that a lot of them teach their formula of how to do it. But that works for a lot of people. Just some of us, it doesn't. And we're going to do it a different way. So I will chat to you in the next podcast. See you later, darling. Good luck.